I worked at a nursing home where we had a resident that we had recently put on hospice. We will call him Norman. Norman was a chain smoker, and that was basically the only thing that gave him pleasure in life. It didn't matter that he had pneumonia, and it was the middle of the winter. He was going to smoke. Anyways, I go into work around 8 o'clock Saturday night to check something out and see Norman smoking in the parking lot with two people I don't recognize. I don't think anything of it since this is a daily occurrence with him. I drove right by him and he casually looked at me before turning back to shoot the shit. I finished what I came to do, go home, and have a good rest of my weekend. The following Monday, during our morning meeting, the director of nursing announced that Norman had died over the weekend. I commented on how sad that was, that I had just seen him smoking Saturday night and that it was strange he was gone. My administrator turns pale and says to me, "Norman died early Saturday morning." Not believing him, I checked the nursing notes, and sure enough, Norman had died around 2 o'clock Saturday morning. I was pretty freaked out the rest of the day. When I was 6 or 7, we were living in a 2-bedroom apartment. My brother was 11 or 12, and my little sister was 5 or 6. We all shared the smaller bedroom. Every night for several months, Mom would come in to tuck us in, kiss us goodnight, and sing to us until we fell asleep. She would sing stuff from Sesame Street, like Ernie's Rubber Ducky song or Cookie Monster's Cookie Song. She also sang "You Are My Sunshine" a lot. I asked Mom about it when I was in high school and asked her why she stopped doing that when we moved to a new house. She got really uncomfortable and said, "I have to tell you something." One morning, she said, my sister had thanked her for tucking us in the night before, and could she please sing the cookie song again? Mom asked her what she was talking about, and my sister, brother, and I all confirmed that the night before she had come in to sing to us. This is where it freaked me out. Guys, my mom had never done that, ever. My stepdad has even confirmed this. Neither of them had any idea why we would think she was in our room after we went to bed, especially on nights she was working. This wasn't the first or only time people had seen or heard Mom and stepdad in that apartment when they were actually elsewhere, but it's definitely the creepiest. When my daughter was about 9 or so, we just moved into a new house in a new town. It wasn't a creepy house or an old house, just a new house. One Saturday morning, she was invited to go to a friend's house to build a snowman and sled. Her friend's mom was going to pick her up, and so all was good. I made sure she ate and had warm clothes on and whatnot, and saw her off and locked the door behind her. After she left, I got back into my bed to sleep more since it was 8 a.m. on Saturday morning. Around 11 a.m. I woke up. I clean on Saturdays, so I turned my music on and started cleaning the bathroom like always. I'm bent over the bathtub cleaning it, and I hear the front door open and close. I then see and hear my daughter's hot pink winter coat swish by as she walks past the bathroom to her room. I say, "Hey, did you have fun?" She didn't answer, but the music was loud and I didn't think much of it. She probably didn't hear me. I switch from the bathtub over to the toilet and start cleaning that. Out of the corner of my eye, I see and hear her pink coat walk back by. I say, "Are you leaving again?" She answered, "Yay, Mom, love you." So I said I loved her too. And then the front door opened and closed. Seconds after she leaves, I realize I should have her take the trash out since she was in boots and a coat. I run to the front door to catch her, unlock and open the door, and look for her. She's not there. I close the door and kind of wonder where she went so fast. I then see on the bookshelf by the door that her lanyard with her house key on it is sitting there. My blood went cold and my stomach dropped out my body. You couldn't lock or unlock the door without a house key from the outside. It was a door with a knob, and then locked only with the deadbolt. I knew that I had locked it behind her that morning when she initially left, and I knew I just unlocked it to go call after her. We had 2 house keys, and her lanyard and my car key ring were right there on the bookshelf. At this point, I'm freaking out. She had a tiny Ria flip phone. It'd make her carry, and so I called her. In order to not freak her out, I asked if she had come back by the house for something. She tells me no and that they've been inside with a movie and hot chocolate for a while. She asks me why, and I said, Oh, never mind. Have fun, okay? Before I hang up, she says, "Can you leave the door unlocked because I left my house key inside?" Who was that? It's bothered with me since then. I don't ever want to see a doppelganger ever again. The whole 4 years we lived in one particular house, I just always felt like there was something not right. I was between 12 and 16 while we were living there. In the back end of the house was my parents' office. The computer desks ran around the edge of the room in a big horseshoe shape, and the entrance to the office was also the wall for the back sliding door. Often I would be up late on Mom's computer. I swear that I could feel someone standing over the entrance to the room, and in the dark screen reflection of my dad's computer, I could see a tall shadow. At first would pass it off as the pot plant, but it was too tall and it always looked hunched over. One night my friend stayed over and we slept in the upstairs lounge room. This room was a big open landing, and you could see every bedroom and the open bathroom from where we were sleeping. The street light would shine into the bathroom, and my friend whispered to me, "What tall thing do you have in the bathroom?" And we could both see that same tall, hunched figure. So we moved into my bedroom and never spoke of it again. Another night my brother had friends stay over, and we were all downstairs in the lounge room. Upstairs the floor was pretty creaky, and you could usually track people's footsteps across the landing to the top step. Well, we could hear the floorboard start to creak as it sounded like someone walking out of a bedroom and walking towards the top step, even though we were all downstairs. In summer I had some friends stay over, and we slept outside on the trampoline. The wall next to the back sliding door was all glass windows as well, so you could see into the kitchen dining. Again, the street light that lights up the bathroom would light up part of those rooms as well. All four of us noticed it at the same time, the tall hunched figure in the dining room. We stayed out on the trampoline all night because we were too scared to go back inside. This is the one that still gives me goosebumps, and when I tell it out loud it makes me feel physically ill. Our front lounge room was quite long and shaped almost like a T. The open section was close to the front door, and then it became long and narrow. So we had the TV at the skinny end with two lounges lining the walls opposite each other. My dad quite often slept on the lounge because he has tinnitus and generally doesn't sleep much. So, for this particular instance, he had the lounges in a T-shape for whatever reason. I had woken up super early to watch the World Cup match of Australia versus Italy and to message my friend who had seen the thing in the bathroom as she was going to New Zealand with the school band. As I'm lying with my head towards the middle of where the two lounges meet, I see out of the corner of my eye, as clear as day, a girl in a white dress with brunette braided hair just sitting on the lounge. I only saw her for a second. As soon as I turned to look at her, she was gone again. I flew up and turned all the lights on. I was frantically messaging my friend who was about to abandon me on a plane, and just quietly ran around downstairs like a lunatic for a good 15 minutes until I decided that going back upstairs to bed was a good idea. I have never preached that ghosts or spirits whatever are real. But those instances left me with this cold feeling of dread every fucking time, and over 10 years later I still can't explain them. I'm not a serious believer, but always thought the idea of the paranormal is interesting. One night I was asleep in my room when I woke up face down in bed, and I felt this presence standing over me, and I remember literally saying out loud, "Nope, I'm not turning over until this feeling goes away." It did after what seemed like an hour. Now the way my room was set up, there was a short hallway of maybe 8 feet long inside my room that led to an unfinished basement. No one had been down there in years, so I kept a few rolling racks of clothes there. After that feeling of something standing over me had left, I rolled over and peeked down that hallway, and there was just this dark shadow sitting next to the rolling racks by the door. Freaked me the hell out. I told my dad the next day, and he said that I wasn't the only person to see something, and that when my step-cousin had stayed in my room a few months earlier, while I was away, she heard a baby crying. Never felt comfortable in that room again.